Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, my name is Brittany and I talk all things beauty here on my channel. And if you are not already subscribed, I do hope you will consider to subscribe before you leave today. I upload lots of new makeup content every single week, and if you are subscribed, thanks, you are the best. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a 3 looks with the new Natasha Denona My Dream collection. I've got the little trio palette and I've got the eyeshadow palette. So if you love Natasha Denona, then please continue to watch this video. Honestly, the Natasha Denona website, I got this as a pre-order and it came in pretty late, but that's fine because as you can hear, I'm a little sick, so I've just been kind of like waiting to film this. But I will say that this packaging is so pretty. So first I'm going to jump into the swatches and comparisons, and then we'll jump into the looks. Before we jump into the swatches, I'm going to compare the two palettes that I thought were kind of similar in a way. So let's first bring out the Glam palette from Natasha Denona. When I first saw this My Dream palette, I was like, wow, that looks like the Glam and Retro had a baby. So we're going to compare those two because I just thought of them whenever I saw this palette whenever it was launched. So this is a Glam palette. This, honestly, it doesn't compare at all. There's maybe one or two shades that are, they could be like, yeah, you could maybe dupe them out. But as far as the aesthetic of the palette goes and color story, they're extremely different. And so I'm just saying, like, if you have the Glam palette, you're not going to dupe it out. Like, you're not going to have very, like, many repetitive shades, if you will. Now, let's compare it to the Retro palette from Natasha. In my opinion, these compare, but they're not dupes in any way, because the Retro palette just leans so mauvey in a way that they just don't compare. So this is Retro, and in my opinion, if you have this, you're not good. You can still justify the new one in a way, because this one is like the more seductive, like a vampy sister to the Retro. This one's more fun and edgy, but yet you can still get neutral looks. You can get warm tone, whereas the Retro, you strictly, for the most part, you just get more like mauvey looks and pinky looks. So they are different. Can you get a similar look? Yes, but you're more bang for your buck. If you don't have either of these and you're like, which one should I get? I honestly would steer you in the direction of the My Dream palette, because you get such a variety of tones. You're not limited to just a pink mauvey look. You've got so much room to play in so many different areas you could go. You could go super cool, you could go warm, you could go pink, you could go purple, you could go smoky, you could go like more bronzy. There's just so many different looks that you could go with this palette. Okay guys, so here are these swatches. Look at the multi-chrome on my palm. Are you kidding me? Look at that shift. Like, wow. And then here are the rest swatched on my arm. And some of the mattes didn't swatch the best, but I've already used this palette and they perform perfectly on the eye, and the shimmers, they're just so stunning. So first I'm going to try out the My Dream Cheek Trio, the blush and highlighter palette. I believe this was a $46, and man, this packaging got me. It really did. I think it's kind of repetitive to have two highlighters, but they're a different formula. I really want to try out the blush, so let's just give it a go and see what we come up with. So I'm going to take the protective little film off. I do like the packaging. I like how you get the mirror. It's very nice and it feels luxurious. So I'm just going to take my beauty sponge and just kind of stamp it in the blush. It looks very pigmented, so I'm just going to kind of go in a little bit. I don't want too much. And now I've got lots of powder products layered on. And let's see. Not my favorite kind of blush. I thought it would be more rosy. It's more of like a bricky red, if you will. I haven't watched any reviews on any of these products because I've just been wanting to kind of give you my first impressions. I've just been so sick, I haven't been able to film with these products. So I'm so curious, like after I film this, I'm ready to watch everyone's reviews and see, how they are liking the products. Let's see. It's a very pretty blush. It's just not like my favorite go-to color, but still very pretty. More like everyday wearable blush. Okay, so now I'm going to go on with the liquid highlighter first. I really don't want to mess up this embossment because it is so pretty, but, we got to do it. Oh, I don't want to mess it up. Okay, I'm just going to go in with a little bit and top it on. So this looks very beautiful and subtle. Nothing crazy, but I'm sure it is about to get that way because we're going to layer the other one on top. It's still very beautiful, kind of like a lit within, if you will. And now it is time to go in with this beautiful kind of squishy powder gel, I don't know, this new formula, if you will, right here. And I'm going to take that on my brush. And let's see, blinding. This is a beautiful, beautiful highlighter. I'll do the same thing over here. Wow. Okay, that shade honestly made up for this entire palette because I love it so much. So before we move on, I want to compare this face palette with her, let's see, the Glam face palette. I almost passed on this because I have the Glam palette, and this blush and highlighter, guys, I'm telling you, just by the looks, I don't think you're gonna need both. So it's kind of repetitive. Alright, I'm gonna swatch the new one first, and then let's go in. Okay, so the face palette, the new one, isn't as creamy as the kind of like the Glam face palette. So this is the let me try to see how I want to do this. This is the Trio palette, and then this is the Glam face palette. Very similar, guys. Very similar. Just saying. Definitely the Glam face palette is way more creamy. That's very interesting. But once you get them blended out, kind of the same. They're kind of the same. Okay, now it's time for the highlighters. The one in the Glam face palette seems more dry, so I'm going to swatch that first. Right here. Not as creamy as the other two. So now we're going to go in with the Trio, which, let me just show you. This one right here. This one right here is so creamy and beautiful. Not as blonding, but see how they're very similar in tone. Now I'm going to go in with this one right here, and let's compare. That texture is very similar to the Glam face palette, and I'm just going to swatch that. This one is blinding. See, guys, honestly, in my opinion, if you have the Glam face palette, you can skip on the My Dream Cheek Trio. I just wanted to let you know. But now let's jump into the eye look. I figure for the first look, I would do something super like everyday wearable, neutral, if you will. I like how this palette has a very good balance of warm tones and cool tones. That's pretty neat. So I'm just going to go in with Nurture first, and I'm going to first pop that in my crease. Very pigmented. Blends out super easy. Now I'm going to go in with the shade, let's see, Unity, which is more of a warmer tone color. And just layer that right on top. Oh wow. This has way more warmth than it looks in the pan. Still very beautiful. Now I'm going to mix these two shades right here and put that kind of like in the outer corner just to deepen it up. Just finished putting NYX glitter glue on my eye. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Thrill. It looks like a beautiful rose gold shade. And I'm going to pop that all over the lid. That feels so beautiful. Wow, that's a gorgeous shade. I'm just going to pop that on top. It has lots of sparkles in it. It's really pretty. I want to go with the shade Babies on the outer part just to kind of deepen it up. This looks such... Oh, it just looks like it's such a beautiful color. And just kind of pop that on top of what we already got going on. Ooh. Now for the inner corner, I want to go in with the shade Spontaneous. It's just like that perfect champagne everyday color. Ooh. Beautiful. For the lower lash line, I'm going to mix the shades that we put in the crease and just kind of put it down there to balance out the look. And that's honestly... that's all I'm going to do for this look. Wow. Those mattes are incredible. Whoa. And this is the first look. Now for the second look, let's see what I want to do. I kind of want to mix the purples with this beautiful, fun, kind of orangey leaning shimmer. So I'm going to kind of mix orange and purples, if you will. So first I'm going to go in with the shade Unity, which is kind of, it looks kind of like meh in the pan, you know, nothing fun. But honestly, when you get it on your eye, it's so, so pretty. And I'm just going to put that all over the crease as a transition shade, and then we're going to work our way into the purples. Next, I'm going to go in with the shade Instinct right here, which looks pretty bright. This is her, oh, this is the cream to powder formula. I adore this formula from her. This one is more of like a rich cranberry. It's not like a deep purple. So if you're wanting like a pink look, I think you could just go in with this and a beautiful shimmer, and you could get like a pop of pink, which I think that adds a lot of value to this palette. I didn't realize we would be going this pink. Okay, but now when I go with the shade Edgy, which this one looks more of a deep purple, we shall see. And just put that on the outer corner to see if we can deepen it up and get it more purple. Okay, the shade Edgy is, I'm in love with it. It's so beautiful and rich. Oh, I love this shade so much. Now I'm going to go on with the shade Aspiration right here. And I just kind of want to see, I haven't swatched these yet. I know you've already seen the swatches, but I don't know. I want to see if this is kind of purple leaning. Oh, yeah. You see how deep you can get it with that shade? Oh. Okay, this shade was so necessary in the palette to take it like deep, deep purple versus using a black and making it smoky. This shade, oh, it's incredible. Okay, now for the fun part, we're going to go in with that beautiful shimmer. This shade is so soft. Man, Natasha Denona's got an incredible formula. Okay, let's see. I love the contrast between orange and purple. It's just one of my favorites. For the inner corner, I'm going to go in with the shade Spontaneous, which is more, you know, that champagne everyday. Pop that on. Now for the lower lash line, I kind of want to make it smoky and do more of that purple. So I'm going to go in with the shade Edgy, which is that beautiful cream to powder formula, which is very, very pigmented. And I'm just going to start off with a little and then kind of build it up to however much I need. And that is it. This is the finished second look. I love it. Out of my favorite, this is just like very wearable, and then this one's more Halloween-y, if you will. But I really do love all these shades I have played with so far. So I'm going to wash this off, and then we'll be back to do the third look. It's time to do the third and final look, and y'all already know I really want to go in with this multi-chrome, and let's see what it's all about. Vision. I wonder if that's why this palette was so expensive, because it's now $69. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm curious, because I haven't heard Natasha Denona say as to why her prices jumped up for this palette. Okay, so I wanted to show you dead on. It's like pink, and then it kind of shifts to a green. You see that in the mirror? How cool. Y'all know I had to try out this shade, but first let's go into these beautiful mattes and let's see what we want to do. I kind of want to do more of a purple look, purple heavy, but first I'm going to play with some of these beautiful neutral shades, and I'm going to go with the shade Nurture, which it's more of like a cool tone and neutral brown. I love that how in this palette you get both warm tones and cool tones for your crease shade. That way you can take the look either direction you want to go. And I'm just going to blend that out on both eyes. Now for the outer corner, I'm going to go in with the shade Edgy. And let's deepen it up and get it more purple. This is one of my favorite shades in the palette. This is her cream to powder formula. And I just love this tone of purple. Oh, it's so pretty. And if you layer this purple on top of that pink, it just changes it. If you layer it on top of those more warm tones, you get, it's just, I love how everything changes if you layer it on top of one another. So you can get such a variety of looks. Now to deepen it up even more, I'm going in with the shade right here. And just to kind of deepen out the outer, very outer corner. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the lower lash line as well while we're here. Now it's time to go in with this beautiful, oh, multi-chrome. Look at that. How fun. And put that all over the lid. I've never tried Natasha Denona's multi-chrome formula, but I will say, if you are familiar with indie brands, it does compare to indie brand shifting as far as like the multi-chrome aspect of it going to purple, pinky to green. So I'm excited. Like, yay, Natasha. You know, I would love to see more mainstream brands, if you will, start implementing more of these fun, shifty shades in their formula. Because indie brands are giving them a run for their money. Now I'm just taking the shade Spontaneous and mixing it with Thrill and putting that in my inner corner to help brighten it up because it's such a kind of dark look. And that's the finished look for look number 3. I love it. I love that multi-chrome. It's so much fun. So I'm going to zoom you out and give you my final thoughts on this palette. Okay, so first I'm going to start off with the cheek, or let's see, My Dream Cheek Trio. Honestly, I could have lived without this. It was very expensive, and I have dupe in my collection. You know, in my opinion, if you have got the Glam Face palette, you don't need this. You really don't, because they're almost identical, especially the highlighters. But if you're wondering about the formula on this, it's beautiful in my opinion. I really do think the formula is incredible. So this was like, meh, did I need it? No. Am I glad I have it? Yes, because the packaging and the formula is so good. And I really do love that cream highlighter. So yes, I really do love this. But just know, if you have the Glam Face palette, you might dupe it in your collection. Now let's talk about the eyeshadow palette. Now I'm going to make a bold statement with this beauty right here. This is going to be my most used, probably favorite Natasha Denona palette in my collection. I love these beautiful romantic fall tones. I love the purples. I love how you get a nice mixture of cool tones, warm tones. They all balance each other out. They all play well with one another. I love the shimmers. Yes, they're kind of on the same vibe as far as like neutral wearable, but that multi-chrome really helps dress it up. I love it. There's nothing I don't like about this palette. Now, as far as formula, it's incredible. It's that Natasha Denona formula that you love. The shimmers, they feel so soft and sparkly. That multi-chrome is very shifty and special. As far as the matte formula go, they are wonderful. They blend out so fast. They're very pigmented. I have not tried the black yet, but if it's the same quality as her single, then it's going to be incredible. And her cream to powder formula, it's perfect. Perfect. I love it so much. I love the shades that she picked for this. Was I anticipating this to be her next launch? No. Honestly, it very much favors the others that she has in her collection, so this one really caught me off guard, but I love it, and I'm so glad that she added this to her collection because it's going to be my new favorite. I love it that much. I'm like, I'm going to be obsessed. And like, look at the packaging. Are you kidding me? This packaging is my favorite as well. So yes, I love these two products, and I'm so glad that I have them in my collection. Please let me know if you're going to pick them up. Are you going to be putting them on your wish list? Maybe asking for one of these as maybe a Christmas gift or a birthday gift. I would love to know. But that's going to do it for today's video. I'm sorry that my review came up a little bit later than everybody else. I've just been super sick, and I've just been resting. But I hope you enjoyed my review. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know if you're going to pick them up, but I'm going to wrap it up. Wherever you are in this world, I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're healthy, happy, and safe. Stay beautiful. Bye, guys.